Hi all, and welcome to my humble pixel parody devlog, where I try to explain how I developed my upcoming game. Pixel Parody is foremost a point-and-click style game where you need to solve puzzles, but it's also very much focused on humorous parody and sketch comedy. Most of the time it's about political figures because there's so much to laugh at. Do not expect a big story arc in these adventures. Those that you find in, say, Day of the Tentacle or Fate of Atlantis, because this game is mainly targeted on casual gamers that just want a small dose of a point-and-click adventure and finish it in the same day and just have a fun experience. As I'm doing everything myself, I like to deliver small, feasible incrementals. So I tend to do episodic releases, as that approach is a lot more sensible, as I need to combine it with my regular development job and family life. I hope the casual gamer will also check the game more often when there is a new episode, so the retention of the player is better that way. The biggest part of my time goes into making my own point-and-click engine. I made this engine in LibGDX. That's a Java game framework. For upcoming devlogs about my game, I will be explaining what kind of workflow I have to produce game assets. Let's quickly glance over the tooling I will be discussing in detail in future devlogs. Art department, we have Pixaki. Pixaki is used to make room backgrounds, characters, and animate them with a pure, crisp pixel art style. AI is the buzz nowadays and happens to be in my workflow too. Actually, a lot. I'm using Stable Diffusion, for instance, to create banner art for the countless starter screens I need to make to start my point-and-click adventures. I'm also using Elevenlabs Studio for cloning voices with AI. Most of the voices I voice myself, but the ones I can't, I will do with this tool. Very good stuff. Also using a tool called Rhubarb. It's some smart software for detecting the mouth cues in spoken audio. I always feel that adding voices to your point-and-click games really makes your game stand out from the crowd. I know that it's an enormous amount of work, but with the right approach, I think it can be done. In an upcoming video, I will tell you all about this process. As you can see here, the mouth cues extracted with Rhubarb are controlling his mouth nicely. What also was a great find to help me make my game was the Thimbleweed Park's adventure game editor called Wimpy. Instead of making an editor myself, this helped me quickly set up rooms and focus on the development of my point-and-click engine. I also did not need to invent my room data structure or something like that. It was already there. It allows you to add objects, position them, insert animations, and also plot points for walk boxes that can help you define the pathfinding. This is all done by this very simple but very powerful point-and-click adventure game editor. I will make a video about this quirky editor and leave a link to this tool in the description of this video. Big thanks to the Thimbleweed Park team that shared this tool with the world. The Wimpy data structure can deliver all the information you need to set up a room in the game engine. Other stuff to make are sprite textures and polygonal information. 2 additional tools are needed to keep the game asset management in check. Mostly familiar by a lot of game developers out there, but I will still mention them anyway. The first one is probably the most used, and that's Texture Packer. This tool can literally pack any texture into a nicely bundled sprite sheet. My game engine uses LibGDX, so that is also supported. By the way, the Wimpy tool also needs a sprite sheet standard, and that is phaser JSON hash. I will go into full detail about how the animations work within the sprite sheet in Wimpy and how it's loaded into the game engine. The other tool from Code and Web I use is called Physics Editor, and I use it to create polygon shape information that I use to perform accurate collision detection, and also when I hover it over an item in the room, for instance, it shows the name of the item. And it can also be used for the player to interact with the world. You can add and delete vertices yourself, but the main strength of this tool is that you don't have to do this. You can just use the magic wand and auto-detect the best polygon outline. The tool is normally used by game developers for box 2D work and physics animation. But I merely use the polygon information to do this simple point in polygon detection. Different use, but same problem to solve. Another planned devlog will go into detail on how pathfinding is done. As the Wimpy editor delivers the points that define the walkbox area, it needs some post-processing steps to be able to use it in my game engine. I will also go over the tool I created to create the wavefront object that is shown here. It defines the plane of which the character is allowed to walk in the game. I will also tell you about how I took care of the character walking either in front or behind an object in a 2D sprite world. And lastly, I'm also planning to do a devlog on how to do some task management effectively with the help of some basic tools like Trello that I use extensively to keep track of all the progress in my game. As you can see, it's quite a lot of columns, quite a lot to do. It's a super simple app, but also very powerful and of course free. Well, that's it for now, and hopefully you will join me next time when I do a deep dive on one of the topics of game development. My hope is that you are more inspired as I have been inspired by countless YouTube devlogs that also gave me a lot of insights on how to do things. Until next time, bye-bye.